Hello, one and all, and welcome to another exciting adventure of Spirit Sessions of View of the Light. Today we are going to learn about tri-wave magnetics because I don't know a thing about it, and so it's going to be so exciting with our guest. I also have Rhonda with me today, Rhonda Elliott, who's a Reiki master and taught me everything I know about Reiki. And then we have Kim. Kim, would you like to pull a card from your very own deck for us?
Yes. So I
Woo-hoo.
already thank you. I already draw a card out of my Activating the Flower of Love card. And I think it's such a beautiful card that is aligned as well with what Raquel is going to share with us more. But it's divine wholeness. And I'm going to read a little bit of the card, but not the whole. So let this be a powerful reminder of your innate wholeness. You are a magnificent being with both light and shadows, and every aspect of you is necessary for your journey. So embrace and balance the masculine and feminine within, for they are keys to unlock your full potential. Connect with Mother Earth and the universe and allow their love codes to flow through you, igniting your inner flame and illuminating your path. You are not broken, you are not incomplete, you are a divine masterpiece, unique and perfect in every way. Fill your entire being with the radiant light of the universe and know that you are loved beyond measure. Embrace your wholeness and watch as the magic of the universe unfolds. So I think it's such a beautiful message, and I think also a beautiful introduction to our amazing guest today, Raquel Spencer. And I'm going to read a little bit of her bio, and then we're diving into the tri-wave magnetic field. So I welcome you, Raquel. So
It's great to be here. Thank you.
it really is. You're joining us from Las Vegas, and I will share Raquel is a catalyst for becoming your quantum self, and she specializes in activating the dormant mind body pathways and multidimensional cellular codes of light, which assist you with remembering your divine sovereign essence and quantum self. Raquel's work accelerates your multidimensional awakening, bringing you to the cutting edge of consciousness and ascension. And it's really, I really like your work, and we already shared a beautiful conversation, and I'm really excited to dive further. So we're talking about tri-wave, magnetic, and our inner child and wonder. But maybe first for the audience, maybe you can explain what tri-wave magnetic is and how it is here to help our ascension.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, thank you again, ladies, for having me today on the show. And I'm very excited about sharing um, information that hopefully is illuminating and brings some new clarity to what's going on in the ascension process right now. So, the tri wave magnetic. Um, let's start off. First of all, we're talking magnetics, real magnetics. Okay. The planetary, the galactic, the universal, the multiverse. Okay. It's not sexy. It's not a buzzword. It's not anything you can really get excited about, but we are all truly electromagnetic beings of light. And during this sojourn, and actually this full cycle into separation and polarization and understanding and playing that role and experience and everything we've come through has been on a dual magnetic, a binary magnetic, a binary, which is two. Okay. And as we wrap up this very long, and a lot of people, I'm not sure if they really realize this is not just an ascension about the planet and life upon her. It's not just about the ascension of the galaxy. It's not just about the ascension of the universe. The entire multiverse that we have been in this experience in is wrapping up a profound cycle, a cycle that is millions of years old. I don't even have 260 million. I don't know. Our brains cannot
No.
even fathom what we are wrapping up. Okay. But it is the entire cycle. So this goes back millions, 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 millions of years of this container, if you will, of expression. And as we move out of it, we're coming out of the binary. And the binary has been the electromagnetic that we have been operating on. We all overlay, if you will, onto the magnetic. We are electromagnetic beings. Okay, so let's just bring it all back down to good old planet Earth, where we happen to spend most of our time, right? Um, so, planet Earth has been on a binary magnetic. And a lot of people have been, oh, all the earth changes and the Schumann resonance and all the solar flares and all this activity. What is this? What's going on? The planetary magnetics actually have already at the quantum level shifted over into a not a binary, but a triple, a three. Triple, yeah. It's really for me here.
Yes.
Sorry. And it was really beautiful, Kim, in your card this morning that you just read was so beautiful, talking about balancing the masculine and the feminine. Well, we're going beyond that. We have to go beyond that. Because as we walk as we evolve, as we ascend out of this binary, which has been the duality, right? The light, the dark, the yin, the yang, the positive, the negative, whatever, however you want to label that, has been the experience of duality. And I could spend hours just talking about that. But as we move forward, the tri-wave is the brand new magnetics. And I am, again, physically talking about the magnetic that you can measure from scientists, all of that kind of thing. The magnetic of the planet is changing, and we are the facilitators. We are also part of this process because we have to unlock ourselves from those old binary magnetics and change into and overlay and anchor and facilitate through the new tri-wave that is anchoring. Now, we're talking billions, millions and millions of years on this old binary. And so this is not something that happens overnight, right? But it is part of, it actually is not even part of, it is the ascension. You cannot ascend and still be locked into the old binary magnetics. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. You have to unlock from the binary magnetics and anchor into an overlay into the tri-wave. Okay. And this is so vast and so such a big topic. But as we boil it down, I mean, all of the animals, every kingdom within that lives upon this beautiful planet, and all the other species throughout all the other planets and galaxies and universes, everyone is going to have to go through this process, whether they do it in a physical format or one that is outside of physical form. This has to be done. You have to unlock from the binary. And the binary is the duality, right? It's been the game of separation. It's all of your life streams, all of your experiences that you have had, both in the light and in the dark. We call it the dark because we think of it as, not the most beautiful lifetimes, but in truth, everything is happening in the now moment in the quantum. There is no past, present, or future, and there's no judgment. It's just been the experience, right? It's been the experience. So whether you were, Roman soldier or part of Hitler's experience or whatever in our past that we think of as, oh, that was horrible, that was such a terrible thing, blah, 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 right? That is part of what we are all unraveling from and bringing back into wholeness.
Yes.
What do I mean by that, right? You, as a divine being of light, have thousands and thousands of life streams all happening simultaneously on this planet, on other planets, outside of this system, outside of this universe. And guess what? All of them have to be loved back into wholeness, back into 0 point, back into that neutrality, and then embodied, not just, oh, I've done a little work on it, actually embodied. Okay. And it is through the work of integrating, bringing back to 0 point and integrating all aspects of yourself, light and dark, right? In this perceived understanding down here. Um, that is what allows you to unlock from the binary, because most of those, especially the seemingly dark quantum, the inverted realities, they're all playing on those binary. And so as we've gotten to the point at a quantum level of the planet's unlocked, she is no longer in the binary magnetic. And this has been very, very recent, in the last couple of weeks, very, very, very recent, that we have been able to fully unlock her as the quantum dragon being that she is. That doesn't mean everything on her has. Now the process, but the beauty of it is the process now becomes even easier to be able to unlock yourself from those binary and anchor into the tri-wave. And quite frankly, we do both simultaneously. The interesting thing is how it plays out here in the physical reality, in the one that most are most conscious of, right? Your day-to-day experience, what's happening, what's going on here, right? And so with that, the tri-wave is anchoring in, and it's coming in through the planetary light body. It's coming in through the albion. It's coming in through specific places on the planet first, as we've unlocked the planet. And then it allows us to actually begin to anchor into it as well, much more profoundly than in decades past. And so with that tri-wave, it's not just the masculine and the feminine, which we've all been working on this whole life, this conscious life, which is nothing in the quantum, right? But it also brings us into now the inner child that has to be integrated as well. And this goes all the way back to the perceived separation at the fall of the cradle of Lyra. Every lifetime, every stream, we are now stepping into the next phase of actually being able to heal that inner child. And hence father, mother, child energies, right? And so the tri-wave is the magnetic that allows for that inner child to now be healed. And I am talking much more than this lifetime or this live stream. This is the original, anything to do with that feeling unsafe, feeling scared. Most of us, and I'm sorry, if you guys want to hop in here with any questions, let me know. But most of us, we've all had the awakened experience coming back into consciousness, not feeling safe. And many of us who are quantum collective players, which if you're listening to this, you probably are at some level. Quantum meaning, collective meaning you're holding larger containers of light architecture, where we always agreed to come in and unlock the trauma, the drama, and all the way back to the initial feeling of separation, when we actually started into this deep dive of separation and duality back at the fall of the cradle of Lyra, and then everything that has taken place since. And so all the way back to that primal, original first expression of fear, confusion. Wait a minute, this isn't right? So talking
This is what's trapped in our sort of our DNA makeup, like
it's
and trapped in our all the lives and all the genetic DNA that comes with all those past lives in our Akash, whatever that's trapped in there, all that trauma that we brought forward.
The Akashic, the Akushik, the Cosmania, all of those, right? And many have only had access to the Akashic up until maybe even the last year. Most have never even heard of the Akashic or the Cosmania, right? They don't even know about those levels because we haven't had access, right? It has not been accessible at this level. I don't care how advanced a being you were, they were sealed. They were not available, right? And so now we're moving in. The Akashic is the individual soul records, right? And there's millions of Akashic record readers and people who've been able to access. And, we've been working with the Akashic this whole lifetime, right? As we started to come in. The Akashic works more at a monad, and it's also the anti-particle. It also goes into the mirrored universes and the alternate universes, which many have never been able to see, right? And then we go into, there's a couple more. We'll stop there, right? But these records now start working with different aspects that we haven't had access to. Let's put it that way. Like I said, most people don't even know the words. Akashic, you talk about the Akashic records, you talk about, everybody's heard of the Akashic. I mean, my goodness, Edgar Casey, way back, I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's been around. Nobody's talking about the Akashic yet because they haven't had access. They didn't even know what it was for the most part. Maybe there's a few of you out there that do. But these are new pathways because of where we are, literally in the cosmos, because of where our planetary alignments are. And we've been talking, and we're a week away right now, literally a week away from the next equinox. The equinox and the solstices have been the processions, right? The processions of us. That is all. Me, be careful how I state this. That has been the indicator in the larger quantum container that is the multiverse cycle of millions and millions of years. We are at the precipice that those are no longer going to be the same at all, right? And everybody probably started to hear about this. All of the astrology is changing. All of that astrology was in the binary. Now let's just take a breath with that for a minute. And it's the best we had. That's all we had access to. All of the things that we have been so brilliantly and beautifully working with, but in the ascension, in the consciousness, all of those have been brought through in the binary. They're not going to hold true for the larger container aspects of it in the tri-wave. There's always truth. There's always truth at the core. But it's been so altered from that original truth. And even astrology, which many have studied and there's there's all kinds of astrology. It's been based on where we were in the cosmic cycle. We're moving out of that. We're completely wrapping up that old, massively beyond brain comprehension cycle. And so all of these tools are now they're 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 ready to evolve as well. Let's put it that way.
Awesome.
What I love in what you share as well, it's really inviting us to navigate from within, because also like those tools are evolving and growing, and it's not per se what worked 10 years ago or 20 years ago will do the same. But I'm curious because I loved, as you shared as well, like the tri-wave, like Mother Earth, our beautiful planet, transcending, elevating into this tri-wave. How do we experience that, or what things can we, because you say beautifully about doing the inner child work, is that also that is more activated within all of us now?
It is more activated. The tri-wave and how we move between the old and the new. The more that we do the inner work to truly bring every aspect of ourselves back into the 0 point, back into neutrality, and actually then embody it to its totality. That is what allows the unlocking from the binary. And then you begin to tap into the tri-wave. And there will be, let's put it this way, the Albion, which you guys know what the Albion is. Do you know what we're talking about when we're talking about the Albion? Okay, so the beautiful planet that we are on, she is a multi-dimensional being, beyond what you can even imagine, who also agreed to go through several levels of the deep dive into separation, coming all the way down to this level of density, which is what we call 3D. This is the furthest in consciousness any of us have ever fallen. And that's why we are all back in human body on this planet to unlock it. We all agreed we would come down back into human form and wake up through the place in which we fell the deepest into the game of separation and duality. That's what we agreed in the very beginning of the deep dive. Okay, of this particular deep dive, not talking the full cycle of what we're actually evolving out of, but we're also dealing with unlocking from the deep dive. When we engaged in this, all of the planets in our solar system are also were locked down and brought down into this 3D reality. So the whole solar system as we know it is also evolving. Jupiter is awaking. Saturn is unlocking. And this is unlocking from inverted architecture. Architecture that was brilliant design, what we would call coming from those playing in a much more dark quantum type of experience, right? That were very much not aware that they were source in any level. Brilliant. And guess what? That's all us. All of you were part of this deep dive into separation and setting up these incredible experiences of not remembering that we were source, right? But in the process, the technologies that we have when you're operating at 10 strands of DNA or 11 strands of DNA versus the 2 we are right now. And yes, we're only operating at 2 strands of DNA. Do not be in any illusion that we're operating above that right now. But with those higher 11 strand DNA species, the technologies and the wisdom we had to actually lock down full planets, full solar systems, full galaxies was incredible. And so in this process, we're also unlocking the planet herself. She is currently in a the experience we're having is the 3D Earth experience, right? She is now unlocking, it has been a lot of planetary unlocking going on, mostly out of the dark, right? All of the ways in which her energy was siphoned, all the ways in which her life force was used as part of the deep dive into separation. Okay. So as we're unlocking her, one of the first pieces of her landmass that are coming back online, back into moving into a 5D, and I'll say that as we're not anywhere close to it yet, but we're getting there. One of the very first that is truly unlocking to allow the planet herself to, and we're only talking a very small portion of her so far, is the Albion, which is the UK. So England, Scotland, and Ireland. This is the first part of the planet where it was crucial to unlock. Stonehenge is there. Stonehenge has been inverted our entire lifetimes. Stonehenge has not been the sacred site energetically that most have thought and gone and worshipped and done everything in, and woohoo, right? It has been a inverted Stargate for eons, right? She is in process of unlocking that 11th Stargate. We're so close. It's tangible, right? We can almost feel it, right? But that whole region, as part of her skin, her light body, is the first pieces on the planet. There's a lot of pieces that we're working on and are starting to come alive, but the Albion is the first, because it holds specific codes and like architectures that will allow us to connect into the tri-wave that is trying to anchor onto the planet. Now, does that mean everybody needs to run to the Albion? No. Doesn't mean everybody needs to come see you guys in the UK and up in beautiful Scotland and Ireland. Kind of nice if you can, but you don't. That's not what I'm talking about. But the planet herself is actually opening up and unlocking from, think of it as a net that is so entangled that has actually just life force for millions of years, and it's starting to finally open, and her own true light as a multi-dimensional dragon being that is currently in a planet, embodied as a planet, is starting to get some of her natural, organic energy veins, if you will, open.
I love that.
Yes.
And how
exciting, right?
It is. Yeah, if you can see it from the broader perspective, it truly is. But I'm also curious, like, because how can we, in your
right? Okay,
how can we support ourselves as we're bringing all of these elements of us back into oneness and wholeness, and how can we support this journey we are on?
First and foremost, it is the awareness.
Yeah.
You didn't even know that you were supposed to be unlocking from a magnetic on the planet, right? You didn't even realize that there was a new tri-wave trying to anchor in. So first and foremost, the awareness. Every single day, and we walk through this world, so it's not like we can just go ta-ding, 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 we're done, right? We exist here. So every time, I mean, just by being here, we are still in the binary, because as much as she's unlocked at the quantum, now all the fun starts down here. We get to actually do it. So every single day, and sometimes multiple times if I've been out to grocery stores, out in public, every single day, I consciously ask my systems to be unlocked from the binary magnetics. I literally think of myself, because we are the cells of planet Earth. We overlay on her, right? As we embody here in this physical body, we're part of her. We are her cells. We overlay on the magnetics. So every day I am asking to be unlocked from the binary and the mass consciousness, both. I do both of those because I sure the heck don't want to be locked into and hooked into the mass consciousness grids that are a little chaotic and freaking crazy, if you ask me, with everybody, with everything going on, because it's happening to everyone, whether they know it or not.
Right.
Right. And so when they don't have the tools to work with it or have an understanding, holy shamoly shagolies, their life goes haywire, and they can be very erratic and crazy. And that's not everyone, but it's getting more and more, right? The mob mentalities and all of the mind control, because this is happening, the mind control airwaves that are going through kind of been turned up like exponentially by those that don't want this ascension process to go through, right? They don't have a choice. They're already there. It doesn't matter, but they're sure making it hard on us. So the conscious awareness, when you come down into your high heart, and you specifically ask to be unlocked from the magnetics, the binary magnetics. And so literally kind of see yourself almost, I always like to use the idea of like an electrical strip where you have all the plugs, everything, your toaster and your teapot, everything plugged in, right? This great big long strip. It's all plugged into that same source. I kind of visualize it on myself all the way down my spine, because that's where it all mostly locks into the physical, right? And so I see myself every morning like a great big electrical strip going down my spine, and I'm unplugging all of those binary magnetics, everything that's hooked in to my nervous system through the planetary. I unlock them, I take them off. That's my intention. And then I quickly ask to be anchored into the tri-wave through my high heart. So it's a kind of it's not a one and done. This is a daily practice that has to happen as your body shifts over, as your electrical shifts over. So that's one way. And then also asking to be unlocked from the mass consciousness. And that again goes through your nervous system in trying to keep you in mob mentality, keep you in that lower frequency. Because it is it's being disconnected from that on a conscious level and connected into the tri-wave, which you can now ask to fully be anchored into, because it has the binaries unlocked at the quantum. So it's much easier to ask to be locked into the tri-wave and actually have it hold, right? It's not going to hold one and done. It's kind of like brushing your teeth. They get dirty every day. You gotta brush them every day. Because the buildup just is awful, right? You can't just brush it one and done. It's a daily, right? You have to ask that. And what you'll notice is once you start doing that, your awareness and your ability to recognize what's going on in your outer reality as a clue of what needs to be worked on, because everything in your outer reality is a reflection of you. There's nothing outside of yourself. It's just the visual map for you to follow, right? So as you do that on a daily practice, and this is the way you do it. And I'll go down into the crystalline core of the planet, because now that crystalline core has actually, she's unlocked at the core level, energetically at the quantum from those binaries. So when you extend your central column all the way down into the crystalline core, into her high heart, and anchor into that and breathe that energy back up, that helps you to acclimate your nervous system and your biology into that new tri-wave.
I love that. And because in like when you shared your show keynotes, or what about the energy you wanted to share today, you said childlike wonder. But I
Right.
love that, because as you start to share, it is our childlike wonder, or just wonder, that opens us up to something greater than. Yeah.
Well, and it goes back to that as you start to really tap into the tri-wave, it is almost forcing the hand of acknowledging the way in which the inner child has been locked down. And I'm sorry, there's not a single one of us here that doesn't have an inner child locked down on some stream. Some are more easily accessed, right, to be able to bring that inner child back into alignment and embodied. But we're just now, as again, this is the last month or two, even the last week, what is opening up to be able to access the inner child levels of the thousands and thousands of life streams in which you have experienced. And the quantum dark ones didn't have any inner child. It was so shut down because it just didn't exist in their emotional body at all. Right? So as we do this, one of the key things, especially now, and even when I put this topic together for you, we didn't
We
have
already picked it.
we didn't have access like we're just now starting to bridge into opening the inner child diagonal access into the inner child levels at the galactic level, at the planetary level, at the universal level, to even get access to lifetimes and to be able to unlock that. So when you come into now the understanding and the childlike, when you're truly in that childlike wonderment and love and excitement, most times, you cannot be in fear at the same time.
Right on.
You can be excited and apprehensive and, oh shit, what's going to happen? And, oh, this is new and scary. And I don't know. I want to go play over there because I've never done that, right? You can still have, even as you start to do that inner child fear, and it's very real. It is more important than the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And it's even more shut down because it started from the original separation into the deep dive. But as we do this, the more that you can understand that what we are moving into is that space of absolute knowing that there is no separation, absolute knowing that there is nothing outside of you, absolute knowing that you are fully supported in the process of integrating yourself back into wholeness. So a lot of times, a lot of people, it's like, I'm doing all the work and how come I hate my job and my boss is really, mean to me and not recognizing my skills and the neighbor's excuse me, a bitch and she's just being not nice to me and why I'm doing all the work. Why is this showing up, right? Everything in your outer reality is showing up to show you. It's a mirror always, right? That inner child is going to show you where you still think where I think I'm separate than Kim. Kim and I are absolutely one and the same. There is no separation, right? So everything that's going on to everyone, I mean, this is a big ask, but right? When you can be in a place of absolutely no fear and inner joy, when you are at one with someone who is in war right now, someone who's in sex, being sex trafficked or drugged or right, when you can be in that place and not have any fear around it.
Awesome.
That's the level we're being asked in mastery to step into. right? I often have seen my higher self challenge me. Okay, can you go walk at night by yourself through the scariest part of the scariest city and know that you are fully protected and be in joy while you do it? It's like, whoo, not there yet. Woo, I'm not there yet. Not there yet. I still got a lot to do, right? But this, I mean, this was the visual 3 days ago.
Wow.
It's like this is the level of mastery in knowing there is your inner child is you are fully integrated back in, right? So as we go through this process, that inner wonder and that sense that there's nothing to worry about, right? I mean, we're still many. Oh my gosh, I gotta get a new dishwasher, or I can't pay my bills, or even those that are homeless or in between right now, actually being able to be in that space and not have any fear, not be in any anxiety. This is the level of inner child work that is coming, right? But we now are starting to have access. And so as you go through and come into these situations, come into these emotions, come into these lifetimes, can I be in that absolute, on the tricycle riding down the street, um or at the kids pool party, or
Yeah.
just dancing like a little kid would in just complete oblivion, and have absolutely no fear that as you're twirling you're not going to fall off and run into the wall, right? Just this absolute absence of fear.
But that
That
is the, yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, but that's the true embodiment piece as well that you kept sharing. Because before, maybe ascension was the vision, like, okay, I sit in meditation and I have these beautiful visions, and that's ascension. No, ascension
No,
is
no, no.
everything that is happening around you is a
Right.
gift of your mastery, is inviting you to step into this embodiment of who you truly are, to witness everything with love and compassion and trust and knowing in yourself, because only then can we truly step into this greater version. And what I loved in what you were sharing as well is like this childlike wonder is also inviting us to every day almost let go of what we think we know and
What we
really
think
step
we
into the
know, what
new.
we think we need,
Yes,
how
yeah,
we think it should show up, right?
yes, as well, a big one as
How
well,
we
the
think it
mind.
should show
Yes,
up, or what even's coming.
yeah,
I mean, blank, we've never done this.
no,
We've ascended multiple times throughout this multiverse in smaller experiences, and we are all ascension. We've all done it. We've never done this before. There's no manual for this. This is a day by day experience of coming back into, and really that's the like you said, can trust and surrender and loving it all. Even what we think of as, you know, we go into the of course, we would have come in to unlock the ascension through the most sophisticated emotional body that has ever been experienced throughout the multiverse. Right? This
yeah.
is the most sophisticated emotional body we have ever designed. Is this particular expression here at the 3D?
You still say.
With only two strands of DNA going on, and let's feel everything to the max, right?
Yes.
Um, and it is through that, really being able to love unconditionally, to be able to have the car accident, and oops, it might have been your fault, and the person come out of the car and scream at you, and still, even in that shock space, be in a space of compassion and love.
Yeah, because it's for everyone, because that's also like we're in this conversation, everyone joining us as well, you already have the awareness, otherwise you were not tuning in. But also the neighbor that has no awareness is also in this ascension journey, and imagine what kind of fear sometimes they are in, because they don't understand, their whole world is crumbling down and they have no idea. So we can only be compassionate and only be loving, and truly be the example of, okay,
Right.
Yeah.
And are we doing that in every experience, right?
Yeah.
And it's really, it's almost to the point when you really are embodying and holding super high frequencies, and you go to the grocery store, there's no way you cannot affect everyone around you. They are walking through your fields. You are triggering them, whether their human personality wants it or not. They cannot be in your fields. And so a lot of times they will have complete and total meltdowns around you because at some level you just triggered something within them to start to show up, and they don't have a clue why. And then they just kind of take it out on you. And can you be in that bodied state, not to laugh at them at that point, but just kind of smile within and send them love, going, I know my higher self's talking to your higher self, and boy, you wanted to be in this grocery line with me because boom, here we are, right? And whatever that in service that does, right?
But also not judge yourself, because I think a lot of us, I needed to learn that. I trigger sometimes people through my embodiment.
You bet you do.
But not put it on my. Before I always thought, okay, maybe I'm not nice, or people don't like me, or I'm always different, but don't do that. Stay in your centeredness with love and compassion, and keep shining the light, because that is the true help.
Be in a space of observing and neutrality. Observing and neutrality. Observing and neutrality.
Yes.
Right?
Which is the hardest thing to learn to do.
And that's part of the mastery, right? And as you continue to embody, and as you unlock from those magnetics, the binary magnetics more and more, and anchor into the tri-wave. And again, it's not a one and done. It's daily, because you're in the totality of it. It's all happening simultaneously. And so we're in the binary and we're also in the tri-wave all at the same time, right? It's like you can't separate it out. And yet through this linear 3D that we're still experiencing, oh my gosh, we are unlocking the concept of time so profoundly right now. But we still live in a very linear experience. Yesterday, today we were, 6 p.m. in Amsterdam. It's like, this is when we're going to be on live, right? I mean, it's still very linear, but that is really not how it's all playing out. And that's a big one to try to, I just know that. I can't understand it. I don't get it from a brain. I just know that that's true.
But we need to wonder again. We need wonder. Yes. Yep. Curiosity. Yes. Openness.
The playfulness, the wonderment, and walking through all of this with no fear. Yeah. Walking through all of these situations that are going to show up and because the bifurcation that is happening on the planet is even stronger right now. It's like the rubber band, it's the tensest right before it breaks, right? And so we're walking through some pretty polarized expressions. And so that knowing within, and that knowing that you're truly safe, knowing that you are truly fully supported. The water main broke. How's that me being supported? Oh my gosh, it's going to cost all these thousands of dollars or euro or whatever. And I don't got it. How is that supporting me? Right. And being able to really go into that and see how that is truly supporting. Right. So that the innocence and the childlike, although a lot of people still, the wonderment and the awe of it all, and that we need to be there, but it's also even more profoundly in this day and age, the no fear. Yeah. Coming into the space of, wow, my old self would have really reacted to that. I would have been really freaked out. And how am I going to, my car gets totaled. Oh my gosh, what? And then not going into any fear around it, knowing that that happened for you in some way. And then dropping into your high heart and allowing that to present why your car, just an example, but why your car just got totaled. How is that supporting me? Right? Without going into the fear, without going into, oh my gosh, how am I going to pay? How am I going to get to all of that? Being able to surrender and truly be in that space of no fear, that you are fully connected, you are fully supported, whether you recognize how that support is showing up from your 3D human lens, but to actually drop back down into the high heart. I always say drop back in because usually we go into the brain, into the head, right? Yeah. So I always say back down, but wherever you always come back into the high heart, and that level of trust and surrender and not going into the fear. Children, that inner child that we're talking about, that many of us rarely had experience of. If you had a beautiful childhood that was without fear, you're in the minority on this planet. I mean, honestly, you are in the minority. And most of us who came in to do the work, we came in through some pretty horrific experiences because we have to unlock them from within. We have to unlock them through this biology. And that's just this biology. That's just this life stream. So there's a lot of, coming back into that inner childlike wonderment, the playfulness and being in that joy as much as you can. Absolutely. And moving into that place of neutrality where there is no fear.
Thank you, Raquel. Can you let us know where people can find you before we have to wrap this up today?
Oh, no, I don't want to wrap this. It's so fun. I'm sorry.
I know, it's so cool. And you like so much, like our heads are exploding. At least my head's exploding. So
it's so
much to gather, right? It's so much to munch on that you've given us today.
Come back.
Hopefully
come back. We'll come back. We'll come back. Yeah.
You can find me at my website, which is RaquelSpencer.com. And that's RaquelSpencer.com. And it's been, oh my gosh, I get so excited about everything.
You have a lovely newsletter that you can sign up for too, right on your
there's lots of free things on my website. Go through all the pages because there's something free on almost every page.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's
including even the first 8 chapters of my book, She Travels Light, which is also really fun. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So we have a couple of questions. Did you want to ask them, Kim, or do you want?
You can ask them. Yes.
Okay. Raquel, do you work with gemstones, and if so, what's your favorite one to? I mean, everybody likes them, but
yeah, we all love our pretties.
Yes.
I would not say that I work with gemstones.
Okay.
I have beautiful crystals in my home that I'm drawn to, but I would not consider myself someone who really works with crystals or gemstones a lot. So there's no way in heck I could pick a favorite. Right? So all of them. I love all of them.
You love all of them. If you had a theme song right now for your life, do you have a favorite song that would be playing when you get up on stage in Las Vegas?
Oh my gosh, I didn't see that one coming at all.
I know. It's Teresa's question.
I oh gosh, I can't even think of the names of them or the songs right now. I don't know, something really upbeat and lively and I don't know what it would be though.
We feel the energy.
Yeah, it would be really high energy, really high dance music.
Okay.
I love that.
Cool. And the last one is, have you seen a UFO? You are in like Las Vegas. I mean, there's
You know,
lots of
you guys are gonna
strange
laugh.
beings around. Have you seen?
You guys are gonna laugh. No, I have never seen unidentified flying object. I have not seen a UFO, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm never outside looking up in the dark. I'm usually got my feet up and
Yeah.
comfy, cozy in my house. So I'm really not one that's outside a lot at night. So there's my answer to that.
Okay.
I love that. Thank you.
I just wondered if you might have had visitors come in through, your dreams or whatever.
I work with many, 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 many. Oh my gosh, I could name quite a few. Some benevolent, a lot of them not. So there you go. We are in so many bodysuits. We are in so many different forms. And just one more thing to put in your brain, every single life form on this planet, from black widows and tarantulas to lizards to zebras, to all of them are here as a representative of a species across the multiverse.
I love that.
I love that.
So just chaw on that for
Oh, that's a little
Childlike wonder.
OMG, right?
Yes,
cool.
I love it.
I can
Thank
see it
you again
sometimes.
for
Thanks.
You guys,
thank
thank you for having
sharing.
me. And I
Yes.
hope a couple of light bulbs went off, and I hope it was illuminating.
Yeah, thank you. I want to invite everyone, share what your highlights were. Share what came up for you, and also like and comment and follow the show so it gets spread wide and far. But Raquel, really thank you again for sharing this sacred conversation and your light, and again opening the childlike wonder to new ways of being and sharing.
And thank you for leading the way in that childlike, unconditional love, because you're brilliant at it. So
thank you so much.
Thank you, Kim.
For now, saying goodbye to everyone. Thank you for joining, and looking forward to seeing you next time.
Thanks so much, everyone. See you
Bye.
next week. Bye-bye.